Hello, my name is Dr. Carolyn T. Long, and I'm a therapist, minister, author, and consultant. And I want to talk to you a few brief moments about assertiveness. The title of this video is Assertiveness or Speaking the Truth in Love. Do you have trouble saying no to people? For instance, do you have trouble saying no to the telemarketer who calls you and tries to convince you that something that they want to sell you and you did not know you needed it until they called? Can you say no to the friend who wants to entice you to use alcohol or drugs, or who wants to borrow money from you? Can you say no to the boss who wants you to stay late? Can you say no to the neighbor who says, "Would you keep my 5 children for just 1 hour for me?" at a time when you had just decided that you were going to cut off the television, cut off the phone, and that you were going to take a nice leisurely bath with some candles and listen to some music? Would you be able to say no to a friend who calls you multiple times during the day, even though that person knows that you are at work? How comfortable are you expressing your anger when you're angry? How comfortable are you asking for a service and expect that it will be done correctly? For instance, you're in a restaurant and you ask for a well-done steak and you get a medium well steak. How comfortable are you calling the waitress and asking her to take it back and to make it right? How comfortable are you in receiving a compliment and just acknowledging it and saying thank you? How comfortable are you telling a friend that they are doing something that annoys you? How comfortable are you asking for a favor or treating yourself for something that's just for you, or refusing a friend a favor when you just don't want to do it, or admitting that you're fearful or that you're ignorant about something? How comfortable are you in these situations? These questions are designed to help you decide about your pattern of relating. It's a pattern of communicating with others. The word assertiveness is a way to communicate your thoughts, your feelings, your wishes, and your desires in an open, honest fashion without violating the rights of others. It is an alternative to being either aggressive in your communication, which violates the rights of others, or passive in your communication, which violates your own right. Being assertive means that we can ask for what we want from others. And you know, the Bible tells us that we have not because we ask not. And so for persons who are unable to be assertive, many times they do not get what they want and or that they need. So why do I need to be assertive? Or why am I being unassertive? I may be unassertive because I've learned through my childhood experiences that it's not okay for me to assert myself in this setting. Now, when you're a baby, babies have no problems expressing themselves. They cry when they are hungry or hurting or want attention, and they smile and give love when they are feeling good. But as they grow, they learn to adapt to the responses of the people around them, and they begin to change their responses in response to what the adults will let them know is okay for them to express or not okay for them to express. Some children are rewarded for expressing themselves openly and honestly and become quite comfortable with that, while others may not be comfortable expressing their emotions. What happens when you are not being assertive? The effects of being unassertive is that you have a growing sense of low self-esteem. You have a weak sense of self-identity. You have a lack of a sense of purpose, a feeling that maybe you're not in control of your life, or negative feelings, and certainly symptoms of stress. When we don't express ourselves and conceal our feelings and thoughts, it can lead to internal tension, which causes for us depression, anxiety, and stress. And poor communication results, and it leads to unhealthiness in all of our relationships. Communication in an effective manner is the best possible insulator against depression, against anxiety, and against stress. So therefore, it is important that we learn to be assertive in our communication. And by being assertive, on the flip side of what I've just said, we are able to raise our self-esteem. We are able to increase our sense of self-importance and self-identity. We're able to take control of our lives and to lower the incidence of depression and anxiety and stress. When we are able to state what our needs are, we are more likely to get our needs met. Being assertive leads us to a place of saving energy because, it takes a lot of energy to stash our feelings. It takes a lot of energy to wonder if I speak what I'm thinking and feeling, am I going to cause a problem? It also leads to a reduction in the tension that can build up inside of us. Now, I've defined assertiveness, but I didn't talk too much about the other two ways of communicating, and that is being passive or being aggressive. If I'm passive, I may talk softly, and I might give what's called a cold fish handshake. I may not stand up for my rights. I may avoid conflicts and disagreements. I may allow people to take advantage of me, and I may have trouble saying no when I really want to say yes. But the other part of that is that when I say no, when really I want to say yes, then I'm setting myself up for anger, for bitterness, and resentment. So it certainly would be much better for me to learn how to be assertive and speak the truth in love than to be in a place where there is anger, bitterness, or resentment, because then I am not only in trouble with God, but it causes trouble in my relationships, and it also causes trouble within me. If I'm aggressive, then I will violate others' rights with my power and my position and my language. And that's when people use curse words, they swear, they slam doors, they stand up and sometimes exert their bodily image over a person who may be smaller and weaker than themselves. They always get their way. They do whatever they can do, even if it means stepping on another individual to get their way. As I said, the aggressive person speaks in a loud voice, and they do not care when or where they blast someone. They may blast a clerk in a store with hundreds of other people listening if she makes one little error, maybe in counting their money. They may and certainly can be abusive, and everything I've said so far is certainly tantamount to being abusive. The other type of people who give vice-like handshakes as opposed to the cold fish handshakes. And there are people who will like to get even. So which are you? If you're one of these that is not desirable, which one do you want to be? Do you want to be assertive? If you are passive or aggressive, do you want to make changes? Because if you want to make changes and become the assertive person and learn to speak the truth in love, then there is help available for you. give us a call at the information on the screen. And I want you to know that there is help, there is hope, and there is healing. And thank you so much for listening.